2011. In this show, I like to go over Chicago sports to talk about the recent news, offer commentary on it. But in light of recent events from the Penn State story and controversy, I thought we would discuss that in today's show. I want to first go over the timeline of events that happened in Penn State. Starting at the beginning, in 1969, Jerry Sandusky was hired as the defensive line coach at Penn State. 8 years later, Sandusky founded a program known as the Second Mile. This was a foster home for troubled boys and became later a charitable organization dedicated to helping children with absent or dysfunctional families. In 1994, the alleged start of the abuse began by defensive coach Jerry Sandusky. A victim who later became known as Victim 6 in the grand jury testimony told his mother he was forced to shower with Coach Jerry Sandusky. In 1998, a state investigator and Penn State University detective was interviewed about allegations of inappropriate behavior pertaining to an incident with boys in the shower. Sandusky stated he would not be engaged with these activities with children again after this incident. The case had mysteriously closed after District Attorney Ray Greicher decided no criminal charges would be filed. In 1999, Sandusky retired from his coaching position and was replaced at Penn State by Tom Bradley. March 1st, 2002, a Penn State graduate assistant entered the locker room at the Losk football building. He sees an incident in the showers between a young boy and a known as Victim 2. The victim is estimated to be around 10 years old at the time. He did report this to his father later that day. Coaching assistant later becomes known as, we learned to know as wide receiver coach Mike McQuarrie. The next day, March 2nd, 2002, in the morning, the graduate assistant calls Coach Joe Paterno, goes to his house where he reports that he has seen the incident. The following day, March 3rd, Joe Paterno had called athletic director Tim Curley to his home and reports the version of what he heard from graduate assistant Mike McQuarrie. Later in the month, the graduate assistant is called to a meeting with Curley and Senior Vice President for Finance and Business, Gary Schultz. Graduate assistant Mike McQuarrie reports what he's seen to Curley and Schultz. They let him know they will look into the investigation. In 2010, this being 8 years after the incident of McQuarrie bringing it to attention, McQuarrie testifies for a grand jury about the incident. And on Saturday, November 5th, 2011, Sandusky was arrested and charged with 40 counts of sexual abuse. That brings us to yesterday, Wednesday, November 9th, Penn State University and the Board of Trustees fired head coach Joe Paterno and President Graham Spanier. So that's the incidents involved in the case. Now it's time for my commentary, my thoughts on this. My response echoes what many people in the media are saying and many people in public are feeling right now about the incident. Definitely shocked, outraged, and appalled by what happened with this case and the abuse that happened on innocent children. My thoughts and prayers go out to the victims and their families who had put their trust in Sandusky and faith. As a man that they greatly trusted and lended to their homes. It was faith and trust that was misplaced and grossly violated. For me, the wins, the championships, the legacy of Joe Paterno will be forever marred and linked to this tragedy and story. While Paterno himself did not attack or abuse these children, he failed to bring it to law enforcement agencies. Instead, brought it up the chain of command, hoping the Penn State University would fix the issue themselves. It was not enough. He allowed the monster that is Sandusky to continue. He allowed this monster Sandusky to continue to have access to Penn State athletic facility and continue to go unpunished for his crimes. For 8 years, God only knows how many victims Sandusky found. Paterno is not a martyr or a victim in this case. The children are. And many former players, media, and fans seem to be forgetting this. I was embarrassed to see the students of Penn State cheer on Joe Paterno on his lawn, chanting Penn State like a bizarre pep rally. I was embarrassed to see students ask inconsequential questions about how Joe Paterno was fired and what little respect they showed him on his way out. I was embarrassed to see the rioting and the student body flip over news vans. I hope the people on campus will finally get a clue about this come to grips with this tragedy and work for justice and safety of all people, even children. For those who have grandchildren, children, nieces or nephews, we need to let them know that these things can happen and that they need to come to an adult, to a parent, someone they trust, and report these experiences, if anything, if they see any inappropriate actions or behavior from adults. Because in the end, it's ultimately the safety of the youth that is the story, and not the tarnish on Joe Paterno's legacy. I'm Patrick Swanson. Have a great day.